So good afternoon, grade 12. Welcome to the second quarter of Earth and Life Science, in which the focus is on biology. Hoping you will all enjoy your travel in the world of life science. Now let us have this activity called My Life in Timeline. The direction is picture out a history of your life. Create a timeline that will reflect the events that happened to you in the past. You may include at least 5 important events. Write it on a sheet of paper, and you're given enough time to accomplish. And while doing the activity, try to answer the following guide questions. What is a timeline, and why is creating a timeline significant? Okay? Start doing your timeline, grade 12. Are you done? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, may we listen to some of your answers? Who wants to share their output? Oh, it's John Carl. Okay, John Carl?
So good afternoon, everyone. So, mom asked us to do a life in a timeline, and here are my timeline up to 5. Number 1, became a varsity player in elementary, dating mom on her birthday, meeting new friends found on internet, champion in division folk dance recently, and completed Misa de Gallo last year.
All right. What is missing in the timeline of John Carl? Anybody? Yes, Rosemary?
I think it's the date, ma'am. The date of the
Yes.
event.
Yes. So, you should have included dates in your timeline, John Carl. All right. Hearing from their sharing, what is then a timeline? And why creating one is significant? Anybody who could answer? Okay, John Carl.
What is a timeline? A timeline is a display of a list of events in chronological order. Is a typically graphic design showing a long bar labeled with dates paralleling it and usually contemporaneous events po. And why is timeline significant po? Timeline, parang ito po yung nagpapaalala sa atin na may nangyaring event na ganito po sa atin. Like, mahalaga po siya. It is very significant po na maalala natin yung mga mga event na mahalaga sa atin. Like, for example, yung birthday natin, we shouldn't forget about it. And Christmas and anything po.
Yeah, very good. Of course, you should not forget the past, the events that happened in your life. So you heard it right. A timeline is a list of important events arranged in the order in which they happened. They explain what happened during a certain period of time or to a particular person, starting with the earliest and moving forward through time. For you students, do you agree that timeline is useful?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So how is it useful for you students? Anybody? Okay, John the Kiwag.
Ma'am, for us to remember the important events in our life po.
Very good. Okay, for you to not forget the important events in your life. Another answer. Martin.
Ma'am, this will help us understand the past and create a better future po.
Correct. Very good. To understand the past and create a better future. What else? Mark John.
But for example, your birthday, it helps to celebrate the important events in your life, ma'am.
All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. That can be also. And another one is when you're conducting a task, it is not only helpful in organizing the work that needs to be done, but it encompasses what the task will accomplish and helps to set clear direction and priorities. Timelines provide a simple visual overview from start to finish and led to increased work efficiency. Thus, it will help you save time. Historians use timelines to put the events into the chronological order. Chronology is important because the exact order in which the events occur help us to understand the cause and effect of those events. Timelines explain the full picture of a particular era from beginning to end. For today's lesson, it is all about the historical development of the concepts of life. And the objectives are, first, is to identify the sequence of events of the history of life on Earth. Second, to name the pieces of evidence on the evolution of life on Earth. And third is to recognize the importance of knowing the history of life on Earth. For the next activity, you're going to read silently and analyze the timeline of events on the appearances of life forms on Earth, because you're going to arrange some images to show the order of the appearance. I will show you the images afterwards. Let's proceed with the next activity. So I have here 6 images. So the direction is you're going to arrange the images based on the timeline that you have read to show the order of the appearance of life forms on Earth. So you're going to write your answer in the chat box. So which comes first among the choices? You share your answer, Aryan, Adrian. Okay, you help Arian. Which appears first?
Ma'am M. Zircon Crystal po.
Okay, so it is the volcano that produces zircon crystals. Okay, how about the second one?
Biomarkers po.
Are there biomarkers in the choices? Okay, Cheska.
Green algae po, ma'am.
It's the green algae. Okay, how about the next one? After green algae, what is next? Ronald.
Eukaryotes po.
Okay, so it is Eukaryotes. Okay, after eukaryotes, what is next? Rowie.
Dinosaurs po, ma'am.
Is it dinosaurs? After eukaryotes, is it dinosaurs? Wendy.
Ma'am, cephalopod po and trilobite.
Okay, so it was followed by cephalopod and trilobite. Okay, after that, after cephalopod and trilobite, the next one we have Adrian.
Dinosaurs po, ma'am.
Okay, so it was followed by dinosaurs, and of course, what's the last? Pearl.
Human po.
Of course, humans. Paki-summarize po, anong nauna? O, si Adrian na naman. O, go, Adrian.
Zircon Crystal, ma'am.
And then?
Green algae po, ma'am.
Okay.
Eukaryotes po, ma'am.
After eukaryotes?
Cephalopods and trilobite, ma'am.
Cephalopods and trilobite. Okay.
Dinosaur, then human po, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Well done, grade 12. Now, you're going to watch this video clip that shows the history of the development of life. While watching, take note of the key concepts because you're going to make a summary of the series of events. Just take note the key concepts.
The universe is about 4.6 billion years old. Life on Earth probably began only between 3.5 and 4.0 billion years ago. Evidences from fossil records show the emergence of different life forms. The common ancestor of all life was prokaryotic. Since oxygen was scarce on the early Earth, so the ancestral cell must also have been an anaerobic. There are some challenges encountered in searching for the evidence of early life. Cells are microscopic, and most have no parts to fossilize. The tectonic plate movements have destroyed nearly all rocks older than about 4 billion years, and most of our younger rocks have been heated or undergone processes that destroy the traces of biological material. At present, the oldest cell microfossils, or the microscopic fossils, are filaments from 3.5 billion years old rocks in Western Australia. The filaments resemble chains of modern photosynthetic bacteria, and the rocks in which they occur are the remains of ancient stromatolites. The researchers look for biomarkers specific to eukaryotes. Biomarker is a substance that occurs only or predominantly in cells of a specific type. Eukaryotes are organisms having true nucleus. The DNA is enclosed within the nucleus, whereas DNA of most prokaryotes lies enclosed in the cell's cytoplasm. The first eukaryotes were protists. For life to evolve from simple single-celled organisms to many millions of species of prokaryotic species, to simple eukaryotic species, to all the protist, fungi, plants, and animals took some time.
Okay, so did you understand the video clip? So who wants to share the summary of the historical development of life? Anybody? Okay, let's summarize all together. So how old is the universe? Wendy?
4.6 billion years old po.
Okay, so the universe is about 4.6 billion years old. So when did life on Earth begin? Martin?
3.5 billion years ago to 4.0 po.
Okay, so the life on Earth began between 3.5 and 4.0 billion years ago. And what is the evidence that is used to show how life on Earth evolved? Okay, Joanna?
Fossil records po.
Correct. Very good. Fossil records show emergence of different life forms. And what is the common ancestor of all life forms? Rosemary, you raise your hand.
It's prokaryotic po, ma'am.
Okay, so the common ancestor of all life was prokaryotic. And at present, the oldest cell microfossils or microscopic fossils are filaments from 3.5 billion year old rocks. And the filaments resemble chains of modern photosynthetic bacteria, and the rocks in which they occur are the remains of ancient stromatolites. So the researchers look for biomarkers specific to eukaryotes, and eukaryotes are organisms having a true nucleus. What are the first eukaryotes? Joanna?
Protists.
Okay. The first eukaryotes were protists, and eukaryotes evolved from prokaryotes. So the evolution of life has brought about the changes in the environment, which are linked to changes in climate and geology. These Earth's environmental changes made the Earth's environment more suitable for a wider variety of life forms. Okay, let us proceed to the next activity. We call this the sequence of events. So the direction, below are some key events that happened in the past. Create a timeline that will show the sequence of events of the history of life. Use the information below as your guide. You may just use the keywords as part of your timeline. The first event is done for you. So you may now accomplish, write it in your sheet of paper. Are you done, grade 12? Who wants to share and explain their answer? What is next to prokaryotes? Aryan, next to prokaryotes, we have?
Simple eukaryotes, ma'am.
So it was followed by simple eukaryotes in 1.6 to 2.1 billion years ago. Okay, what's next to simple eukaryotes? Michael.
Animals and sponges po. 665 million years ago.
Is it already animals and sponges after simple eukaryotes? Ira.
Ma'am, multicellular organism 1.1.
Okay, so it should be multicellular organisms. Next to multicellular organisms, John Carl.
Fossils of early sponges po.
Okay.
665 million years old rock na.
Okay. So it was followed by animals, particularly the sponges. 665 million years ago. So after sponges, it was followed by Cheska.
Ma'am, Carnia po. 560 million years ago.
Very good. After Charnia, we have Leia.
Ma'am, land plants po. 416 to 359 million years po.
Very good. After land plants, we have Rosemary.
First mammals po. 210 million years po.
Yes, it was followed by first mammals. And the last one, we have Pearl.
Homo sapiens po, 2.3 to 2.4 million years ago.
Oh, very good. Well done, grade 12. So this is the summary of the sequence of events. So with your learning for today, let me ask you this question. Why is it important to know the concepts of the history of life for us human beings and to other living organisms? I repeat, anybody?
Ma'am, para malaman po natin kung saan tayo nanggaling at paano po tayo nabuhay.
Okay, very good. Sino po yung sumagot?
Ma'am Jericho Adar po, ma'am.
Okay, very good, Jericho. How about the others? Yes, Michael.
Ma'am, knowing this, knowing the concept of history of life is valuable information for us. Parang it gives us the reason why we are living, how we are created, and what is the reason of our creation.
Very good. All right. History allows us to understand changes which we human beings have ever seen and to relate them to modern changes. Dramatic changes are taking place in the Earth system that greatly affect human beings, from global warming to earthquakes and to the extinction of other organisms. If we also use the past to understand the present, then we could do something to avoid the great impact of these changes. And probably we prevent organisms from vanishing. As a student, you can start with yourself. Make a change for the betterment of our life and other organisms. We will now have the evaluation, grade 12. So this will be your quiz. So the direction is complete the paragraph by filling up the blanks with the correct word from the box. So you write your answer on a sheet of paper, then send it in the Google Drive. So you may now start answering. Okay. Okay, for your assignment, grade 12. So you're going to create an interactive infographic that will show the history of life on Earth. Apply artistic skills and techniques that you have learned from your subject, contemporary Philippine arts from the region. Take note of the rubrics for your guide in creating the infographic. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for attending our online class. See you next meeting.